everyone, welcome back to another episode. We are the Road to Glory podcast, and thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, so if you're new here, hello, I'm Cecilia.
And I'm Juliet.
And so this is just a feeder series podcast. And so far it has been focused on F2 and F3. We'll branch out to other stuff. But today the topic of the episode will be the F3 preseason test that, as of recording, just ended.
Yes, literally like 5 minutes ago or so. Like, literally,
Yeah,
just.
exactly. So, we don't know everything there is to know about the third day of testing, but to be honest, there's not like a whole lot to gain from the knowledge of the third day because it was raining and cold and it was just a mess.
Exactly. So, conditions weren't really optimal. So, it's not like they were going to be putting in really good runs or anything.
No, it was just about gaining whatever experience they could and data from running in the rain. So let's just get into it with this preseason testing. For this preseason testing, there was one special thing about it, which is it is the first time that they were running the new F3 car.
Yes, the new generation of car. I was reading up on it earlier because I was like, okay, I know it's a new generation of car, but I was like, what exactly is different about it?
Mm.
Um, and apparently the aerodynamics are changed. This
Yeah,
car has 100% sustainable fuel as well, so the engine has changed to obviously compensate for that.
yeah.
And apparently there's more weight added to it,
Mm.
which I read an interview with Nikola Solov, and he was saying he was expecting that the car was actually going to be slower because of the extra weight, but since the first day, they saw that it was actually faster. So it's very interesting to see this new generation of car.
Yeah, it really is. And it's going to be interesting to see how the different teams actually get to grips with the new car. Obviously, like with F2, we saw last season some of the teams were struggling more than others. And already just here in preseason testing, we can see some of the teams that were struggling in last season were actually some of those that look the best in this preseason testing. So that's
Exactly.
going to be interesting.
Yeah, with this whole new generation of car, it's like who gets to grips with it. So it would be very interesting to see in the first couple of races, like who's
Yeah.
on top. But
Yeah.
what is interesting about preseason testing, obviously, we know it takes place in Barcelona and Spain, right?
Yeah.
Um, but then the next track they go to is Australia, which is a very different track to that. So it's like, okay, yes, they'll be getting grips to the car on this one certain track, but then they have to take all that data and all that understanding that they've gotten and take it
Mm.
to a whole different circuit. So who knows how it'll
Yeah.
go.
Exactly. This is just all about learning stuff about the car and then hopefully they can transfer it to other tracks as well. But
Definitely.
we never know. And
Yeah,
obviously with testing with the times, we can't always tell if the people that are fastest are gonna be fastest during the season. We don't know what different run plans people are on at different times and stuff like that.
exactly. Because one driver could be top one day, but they could be doing like qualifying runs. So obviously they're going to be
Mm.
top. Whereas someone could be doing race runs. So it's gonna you can't compare the two, and everyone's on their own program. So with
Yeah.
preseason testing, you can't really take the results as like this is what the championship is going to end. It does give
Mm.
you an idea of who's got pace, you
Yeah,
know.
it is interesting to
Um,
see because I was comparing to last season's preseason test, and I saw
yeah,
that in day two and day three, it was Luke Browning that dominated the test. So obviously he was one of the front runners in the season.
exactly. So
Yeah.
it gives you like an inkling of what could
Hmm.
happen, but because F2 and F3 they're both so chaotic, you never know what's going to happen during the season. You could have someone who was awful in preseason testing came
Yeah.
last, like winning races just because
Mm.
of circumstances.
Exactly. And it's all just about obviously what the different teams are doing. And there are a lot of rookies this season, as there usually is in F3, but there are 19 rookies out of 30 drivers this preseason
It's
testing.
It's insane. 18 of
It
them
is.
are confirmed to have seats. And I mean,
Mm.
I feel like the 19th. He like, why would
Yeah,
you preseason test with someone
exactly.
and not
Yeah,
have them in the car and have someone who hasn't driven the car
yeah,
before come in? So I feel like
it will
he
make
should
no
be
sense.
confirmed.
Yeah, I think he will be
Um,
soon.
yeah. And there's 23 different countries represented in F3 this year, which is
Yeah, it's insane.
literally insane. Really
Mm,
cool. I mean, I'm really upset because I'm South African, right? We have no drivers in
yeah,
F3. The day I get a South
yeah,
African driver in F3 is the day I can die happy. Like, I
yeah,
literally
like
just want an F3. Like, I'm not even talking about an F1
mm,
driver. I just want
no,
someone that I can support.
yeah,
Because right now they're in like the lower formulas. I think we have someone in
yeah,
GB3, F4,
mm,
and stuff like that. But I want someone in F3. But I
yeah.
mean,
You
it's
deserve
incredible that
one.
there are 23 different countries represented.
Mm. Yeah, it's crazy to think about because like out of 30 drivers, like there are not a lot of drivers that like, come from the same country.
Exactly. I think the one who has the most is probably the UK
Yeah,
because
it has to
there's
be
a
like it
couple.
always is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just proud as a Danish person that we have a Danish driver again in F3, so that's exciting.
That's so nice. I'll be
Yeah.
cheering for him for you.
Thank you, Chris. I will too. Like I was thinking about picking him as like the driver champion
Ooh,
in our predictions, but I was
yes.
like, oh, I don't want to like just seem like I'm just picking him because he's Danish, but now I'm
Bias.
regretting it because like I was honestly surprised to see like how well he did in the preseason testing.
Yes. I've been seeing it. I was like, oh, okay, sir. I see you.
Mhm. Exactly. So, like, if anyone don't know who the Danish driver is, we should probably name him.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know how to pronounce his last name? Because I'm curious about that.
No. And I feel like I'd
Mm.
butcher it. I feel like it's Strum something.
Yeah. Okay. Just say it just for the content, so then I can teach you afterwards.
Okay. No, is it
Mm.
Stromstead? Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty close. Yeah, because like I just wanted to hear you say it because I'm butchering
I
so
was
many names. Like he's
I
the
was
one driver. It's my moment to shine. But like
I
you
was
did really
really
well.
stressed. I was really stressed.
I'm so sorry. But like you were close. Like it was
Okay.
pretty good, honestly, because
Yes,
his
I've
name is
yeah.
like with the Danish complete
Mm-hmm.
pronunciation, it's Noah Stromsted.
Strumst. Okay.
Yeah,
I feel
because
like
it has like the O with the line in it,
yeah.
like the Danish letter.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Noah
Stromsted.
Stromster.
Yeah, I love hearing people like try to pronounce it. Like it's gonna be so funny, like with the commentators and stuff. But you do well.
It'll be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because also like I was expecting them to like change his name to just be with an O, but I saw like in the timesheets they did have it with the Ö, like Stromsted.
That's very good because I mean,
Yeah,
like, you should. If that's his name, you need to
yeah,
say
true.
his name properly.
Yeah, so that's nice. But yeah, in general, talking about Trident, which is the team he's driving for, if we start off with day one, Trident was like obviously this is where it becomes relevant, like drivers and teams doing different things on different days, because it was very obvious that they were doing long runs in day one. They were like at the bottom of the times, but like Noah Stromsted did like I believe it was like over 100 laps on day one. Like it was insane.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, I did write it down. Let's see. He did 110 laps on day one.
That's insane.
Yeah, honestly, so like is definitely trying to like get to grips with the car, and that seems to
Yeah.
like pay off in the second day.
They must have gotten a lot of data for the
Mm,
car and then built on that. And
yeah,
as you can see, it worked out in the second day.
yeah, exactly. Because if we do look at the different days, obviously day one it was Noel Leon that topped the timesheet for
Yes,
Prema.
I have a fun fact about him.
Go
His
on.
name forwards and backwards is exactly the same.
That
No,
is true. I
Leon.
did see someone say that. That's
I
insane.
was dying when I read that because
Mm,
I was like, no, that can't be. And then I read it.
no.
Like,
Yeah, and it is true.
so that's
Yeah,
fun facts with Juliet. Welcome.
we love a fun fact.
Yeah.
And and in day one, obviously The weather was nice, the times were good. The best time was set in the afternoon session, and we did see like returning drivers setting the pace with Noel Leon. Oh, now I said his name wrong because we talked about like the other way.
Yeah.
Uh, he did set the fastest time, and then after him it was Tim Tramnitz, which is the like highest placed returning driver in the season this year. So like he was second fastest for MP. And then thirdly it was Louis Sharp, which is a very interesting rookie.
Yes.
Mm.
I am very interested to see what he can do
Mm.
because he won GB3, right? Which I
Yeah, I
watched.
believe he did the year before. He won like the British F4 as well. So he's like on a really good run of like winning every championship he touches right now.
Exactly. Yes.
But
So I'm
they do
very
want to
interested.
like do the triple, like win F3 as well in the
Oh
first
my
time.
gosh.
Like that
And
would
then
be
go to
insane.
F2 and then win F2.
Yeah, that would be mad. Like I really like Louis Sharp, and I'm not just saying that because he is the first driver that interacted with us, like liked our post on Instagram. So
Oh.
he's not listening right now, but if you are, thank you.
No, Louis, we love you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
We really
it really
appreciate it.
meant a lot.
This has motivated us, okay?
Mm, so
We
much.
now we will support you, Louis. I mean, we were going to support you
We will.
before, but now
Yeah,
we are advocates for you.
we are dedicated now. I
Yeah.
am a Louis Sharp fan and supporter, and I will be rooting for him. I
Me
will.
too. I will be cheering for him at Silverstone,
Yeah.
screaming.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. That will be happening.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if he signs with any academies because he's
Yeah, I
not
was thinking about that too.
he's not affiliated with anyone at the moment. He's just with Roden.
No.
So it'll be very interesting to see if anyone picks him up because, as you say,
Yeah.
he did win at 4 and then he GB3s and he's coming in
Yeah.
as a rookie. So it'll be interesting to
Yeah.
see.
I have a strong feeling that he like already has offers on the table and is just waiting for like the right one. Because if I was a driver in his position, I wouldn't just pick like the first thing that came up either. Like I would wait and see like which academy will give me the best possibilities to get into F1 because obviously everything is based on timing. Like you can be in one of the best academies and then they won't need a
There's no
driver for the
seats.
next like how many years. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So
And I actually have read something that Christian Mansell, who's an F2 now, said
mm,
when he was in F3. He said he got a lot of offers to be in academies, but for him, it wasn't right.
mm,
And
no.
obviously, he could afford to fund his seat, so he didn't need it for funding reasons. And like,
Mm,
you don't just want to join an academy to be in it, you need like it to be
no.
beneficial to you.
Yeah. It needs to make sense to like join it.
Exactly. Yeah.
100%. And like with Louis Sharp driving for Rodin this year, that's an interesting point that I noticed as well in this preseason testing because Rodin last year were like a struggling team. Like they were ended up being 8 out of 10 teams last season. And like they are looking to be in a way stronger form if you can go off this test they just did.
Exactly. So it'll be very interesting to see. And I really like Roden. So I'm
Mm,
hoping that they have a good season ahead.
I hope so too. And like they have a strong lineup as
They
well.
do.
So like if they can get on top of the car, which it seems like so far they have, then it will be interesting to see how they can perform in the upcoming season.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then moving on to day two. Obviously, it was quite a day of domination, and it very much played into your favor of like your prediction.
When
That's
I
great.
saw when I saw them publish the results,
Mm,
yes, I did
yeah,
something right. I had some
exactly.
inkling of something.
Yeah. And then there's me, I just jinx things because like obviously my prediction with Charlie Worse,
Yeah.
th- his team seems to be performing well, so there is hope. Like, but
Yes.
him in particular, we don't know yet. But like as I say, I jinx things. I also like mentioned yesterday, like, oh, like F1, they should just like do preseason testing in Barcelona like they used to. Oh, the weather seems way nicer. Like it's gonna be cold in Bahrain for some reason. What happens the day after? It rains and it's
Great.
cold in Barcelona. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just jinxing
Actually,
people. I'm so
this
sorry.
is this is all your fault. Why
It
did you
is.
do this?
Yeah, but now I'm happy that I didn't pick like another driver maybe because I don't want to jinx people. Like, I'm sorry.
Exactly. Glad you didn't pick the Danish driver because he would have been
Mm,
jinxed then.
exactly. So like now he has way better chance. So like obviously big
Thinking
brain
ahead.
things. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so in day two, obviously Nicolas Solo was quickest both in the morning session and the afternoon session. And yeah, obviously, as you said, he said that the car was obviously quicker than they expected. I also saw that he said that it was like completely different to last year's car.
Which is very interesting because I
Mm.
saw Callum Voisin speak about the car and he was like, it's an upgrade, but he never
Yeah,
mentioned that it felt completely different. So it's
no,
interesting to see the different drivers' takes on the car because obviously
yeah.
it's depending on driving style and a
Mm.
whole bunch of other factors. So it's interesting to see everyone's opinions.
Exactly, it really is. And like with Nicolas saying it is so different, like obviously there must be something to that because like this is his third year in F3. Like he's one of the very experienced drivers in
I was
this
about to say
category.
that. You stole
Yeah,
my line. I was about to be like, oh, it's his
mindful,
third
like
season. So he obviously knew the 2023 and 2024
mm,
car really well. So
yeah,
I guess he probably has the most educated view on this new
true.
car in terms of difference between the old one.
Yeah, I would say so too. And like obviously it's going to be interesting if he can carry that momentum from this test into the season because as we just said he's very experienced. He just changed the like academy he's in as well. Like obviously he
Yeah,
used to be an Alpine academy driver, now he's a Red
Red Bull.
academy driver, which we all know like a lot of stuff can happen in that academy.
Yeah, it's a very interesting move. Obviously,
Mm,
he thought it was best for him, so it'll be interesting to see what can get done there and what he can achieve being part of their junior program.
100%. It's going to be interesting to follow that. And also, um, with him being a Red Bull Junior, I was thinking about like obviously how many Red Bull liveries are we gonna have this season? Because I don't remember like how many Red Bull Juniors do we have in F3 this year?
I don't
Hmm.
know. There's a
I don't feel
couple.
like there are that many. Like Tim
Well,
Tramnitz is a Red Bull Junior, right?
yeah, there's
Not
Tim.
like solo.
There's him.
Oh no. Oh no. If we are forgetting someone, I shouldn't have asked this question. But
You teams and drivers. Teams and drivers. I need now I feel like I'm getting confused between the F2 and the F3 grid.
yeah, same. If we are forgetting someone, we're sorry. But actually, just what I wanted to get to
Yeah,
wasn't the Red Bull Juniors. What wanted to get to is obviously he's driving with the campus, not the campus livery. He's driving with the Red Bull livery. What I wanted to say about the campus livery is that I will not be able to tell the difference between campers and Rodin this year because I don't know if you saw, but Rodin
they're
changed
like
their livery. They're like
yeah.
black and white, both of them.
I know. I think I was trying because I saw the picture of the rodent and I was like, oh, it's
Yeah,
Campos. And then I was like,
exactly. Like I
that's
thought it was
rodent.
Campus that got a new livery, and then was like, oh, it's Rodent that changed from black to like white and black. So apparently, white is the color this year. I don't know.
Even with F1
Yeah,
cars,
exactly.
a lot of them have gone quite white because I know we
Yeah,
saw the RB livery and that's like fully white. But then also
yeah,
Ferrari has that bit where it has white on it as well. Haas is
yeah.
very white. So it's like, is white lucky? Did they get told something that we don't know in the motorsport
Maybe,
world?
yeah. White is just the color to be. Like everybody being angry at it being carbon black. Like add some white to it, and who knows?
Exactly.
Who knows? So like, I'm not gonna be able to tell the difference. So that's gonna
No.
be fun.
No, I
And
will have to.
also,
Yeah, I'll have
what
to
do you want?
rely on driver numbers. I
Mm,
think,
and that's
but
difficult.
it's so hard to learn all the driver numbers.
It really is. So, like, the problem used to be that there were too many Red Bull juniors in Red Bull liveries. Now, like, Solo is going to be the only one of the like those drivers that we're going to be able to tell apart because he's not in a white and
Exactly.
black livery.
He'll stand out now.
And like talking about liveries as well, it is really cool that the Alpine junior drivers are driving in an all pink car this season.
I'm obsessed. that
Mm,
all Alpine juniors are in that. I mean, we haven't seen F2
yeah.
yet, okay? Maybe it's
No,
just,
true.
but I feel like
Yeah.
they should. If they have, usually the F3 and F2 liveries are pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah, I'm
So
expecting it to be the same.
it's so pink and it's so
Yeah.
Barbie and it's so perfect and I love
It's
it. I
so
love it.
perfect because last season it was so annoying that it was only the female academy drivers that were driving pink, and like that's just not it. I'm sorry.
Exactly. That's
Like
sexist. Thank
let
you
the
for
boys
changing
and
it.
men drive in pink.
Exactly. Pink
Mm,
gives you luck. We should all be in
yeah,
pink.
we should. Like next episode, it'll be all pink.
Yeah. I'll wear my pink hat
But-
and everything.
And then talking about teams and still about day two of testing. Obviously, something we haven't covered on the podcast yet is that we have a new F3 team this season. Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, Genser Motorsport like has stopped in F3 last season, at the end of last season.
Yeah.
So now it is a new team, but a team we obviously all know because it is Dams, which we know from
Yeah.
F2. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We already knew from F2, but it'll be very interesting to see
Mm.
what they can do in F3.
Yeah, it really will be interesting because obviously it's all news to them. I didn't really see them do anything spectacular in this test because like when I was like researching what happened, like the first mention I found of Thames was like one of the drivers had stopped on the track and like created the first red flag of the test. So not a
Yeah.
great start.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking this afternoon on the timing and stuff, and obviously we
Mm.
know it was raining today with the test, so you
Yeah.
can't really take what it is. But then I saw like one of their drivers, Matthias Sagazeta, was at the bottom, and then
Mm.
Christian Ho was at the bottom, and I was like, okay,
Yeah. Off to a
you
rough
know,
start.
it's understandable. It's their first season. I'll let it
Yeah.
slide, Dams. But I do very much like you, and I'm hoping you do well.
Yeah, exactly. So like fingers crossed things will like get better for them as the season go on.
Yeah, I hope so.
And like with teams not performing very well, a thing I'm interested in is Prema because I'm already getting war flashbacks from the new Khan F2. Because obviously I know they did top the time in day one, but Noel Leon did say in an interview, oh, today was just about like setting the sensors and getting like a feel of the car, and like then the next couple of days would be about performance. And then the second day, he was still in the top 10, but he
Yeah,
was like significantly slower than the fastest time. So that's a bit worrying if that was the day that was about performance.
exactly. And I mean, like, I haven't seen, like, I was going into testing, I was thinking that, like, Ugo Chukwu was going to do really well.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him very high up. I mean, he's been, like, kind
Yeah.
of there. Like,
Yeah.
he was at, like, the bottom of, like, the top 10 or around there. So, Prema, very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that was like one of the surprises of this testing as well, because I did expect Ugo to like be higher up after like winning Macau
I
earlier,
know.
not so long ago, and like obviously just being a McLaren junior and like having a lot of hype surrounding him.
A
And
lot of hype surrounding him. So, it's,
exactly, because
yeah,
like on day one, he was like okay, he was like 12th, which is like 7/10ths of his teammate, which is quite a lot. And
yeah.
then on day two, he was like nowhere. Like he was 1.5 seconds off the fastest time. So obviously we don't know what he was doing, like what he was testing,
Exactly.
getting to know the car. But like I did expect to like see some kind of run put together by him, but we didn't get to
Yeah.
see that yet.
It will be interesting to see if he can do anything in Australia and for the
Mm,
rest of the season, because it would be a shame that there's all this hype around him and then he comes into F2, F3,
yeah,
comes into his junior programs and doesn't do great.
yeah.
But
It will be
you know
interesting.
what? I have faith in
Mm,
him. There
yeah,
has to be
I
hype
do
for a
too.
reason. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
that Prema can get to grips with the car to give him the platform to perform well.
Exactly, because I was expecting him to like perform really well this season, and like I still am, but now
Yeah.
it can be like he can like surprise us obviously now and like actually perform way better than he did in testing. We don't know.
No, we don't.
Moving on to the third and final day, which is today. We
Yeah.
obviously don't know a whole lot about yet, but we did want to film the record the podcast now because, as we mentioned, I jinxed it, and it was raining and it was cold. So like not a lot of stuff happened besides like a lot of red flags and
Mm.
slow times.
Yeah, a lot of red flags or yellow flags, wet,
Mm,
really wet track. So they're obviously not going to be able to go as fast as they want to. And also
mm.
there's new tires in this new
Yeah,
generation car.
yeah.
So it's
They're
getting to
bigger
grips with
tires
that.
this year.
And then this will be the first wet experience that these tires have had. So it's
Yeah.
getting the data from that. And
Exactly. And obviously, like in the feeder series categories, they don't have intermediate tires, so I don't know like how wet the track was, but like obviously they had to try with the
they had to be in
full wet tires.
full
Yeah.
wets. Yeah.
So obviously we can't use the times for much because they were way slower than the previous days, of course. But the driver that did come out of on top was Callum Voisin, so another Rodin driver.
Yeah, Rodin is really like, according to the test, they are
Yeah.
doing pretty well.
They're doing something. It seems.
It does seem.
And yeah, it is obviously we can't use that day for a whole lot. Just like which drivers were comfortable with the car in the rain. And again, we did see uh, Noel Leon again. I keep wanting to say his name the other way
Leon,
now.
no.
It's so annoying. I'm so sorry. But like
I'm
he
so.
was in the top three again. So like Prema isn't completely lost.
No.
I'm just lost about his name apparently.
You're getting lost saying the name.
Yeah, exactly. So that's great. Other things to go over about this test. I don't know. I feel like for me, the
Mm,
biggest surprise actually was Noah Stromsted because I didn't expect him to like be performing this well like this early in the season, like in preseason testing. So that was a pleasant surprise for me.
yeah, I agree also with that when I saw him up there. Because, like, going into it, I kind of had, like, an idea, and especially the drivers who I have known from the last
Mm,
season of F3, you know, when they're there, I'm like, oh, okay, I know who you are. But he was a
mm.
big surprise. And I think for me, it was not a surprise, but Louis Sharp doing well was really,
Yeah,
it was nice to see.
it was really nice to see because obviously, I didn't actually know a lot about him because I haven't like gotten into like the lower formulas that much yet. Like obviously F3 and F2, but obviously
Yeah,
he's a new rookie and stuff, and he
yeah,
hasn't driven in Formula Regional European Championship, which is
yeah.
like the only other thing I've been having an eye on. So
Yeah,
like, but he seems like a really great talent, and it could be insane if he could like go in and win F3 this season, which like could happen.
exactly. I watched GB3 last year, so I know
Mm.
him from that, and he performed really well in that. So that's why it's exciting for me to see him
Yeah.
doing F3 as well.
Yeah. And with Noah Stromsted, technically it shouldn't be a surprise that he's doing well either. I just felt like with the Freka championship he had last year, I didn't feel like he was that spectacular, like finishing sixth in the
Mm.
championship. But like looking into it, like he was the highest finishing rookie as far as I could see. So like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, impressive to come in your
yeah.
rookie campaign and finish the highest out of the rest of the rookies.
Yeah, exactly. So that is great to see. And yeah, now we just can't wait to like actually see the cars on track in Melbourne like next month. Like it can't
I
come
am
soon enough.
I'm so excited. I
Mm,
mean I love Melbourne. I think it's one of my
yeah,
favorite tracks and I'd love to actually go and see the race there. But
100%.
gosh, I hate the time zone.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. And it's even worse for you with UK time. Like I
Oh
get
my god.
1 hour more, but like
Yes.
I don't want to think about how early the F3 race is gonna be. Like you can't sleep because it's like in the beginning of the night, F3 basically.
F3 sometimes isn't too bad. I actually think last year it was 11 my time, so I could watch F3.
Mm, yeah,
F2 is hell. F2 is like
yeah,
in the middle of the night. I don't think
that's
I slept at all last year when I watched
no,
Australia because I love feeder series so much I have to watch it.
exactly.
But it means
Well,
awful sleep schedule.
Yeah, that would be interesting because I don't know like when exactly the times are, but I do know F1 is earlier than it usually is in Australia. So I'm assuming that the other feeder series will be
They
early
will
as
be
well.
pushed
So
back.
yeah, so F3 will probably be manageable to
Mm,
watch. F2 is like gonna be a terrible time,
I
but
can't
we
wait
will have to
that.
watch it.
Yeah, we will be there. We're watching it. And I'll be setting alarms, being like, "Wake up at 2 a.m. to watch F2."
Yeah, we'll be ready
But
for it.
the best
Yeah,
thing about feeder series races is they are always chaotic, so they draw your
yeah,
attention. Even though it's 2 a.m., you're really excited.
yeah.
So,
You will not be falling back asleep watching one of those races. Like you just
no,
won't.
it's really worth it.
It is. So we can wait for the season to finally get started.
Oh,
And before that, obviously, we have F2 preseason testing next week as well, alongside F1. But we will make sure to talk about the F2 testing once that is done.
yes. And make sure to check us out on all of our other socials. If you go onto our YouTube right now, I actually have a vlog up from F175 Live, which I was privileged to go to. It was like the best
Yeah.
experience ever. And they showed like a little clip of like F2 and F3 to like tease it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And I was
Hmm.
screaming there. I was like, that those are my series, you know? And then F1
Yeah.
Academy as well, because some of their drivers were there. Um,
Yeah.
so go check out our YouTube and our TikTok. We've got lots of fun content over there that you guys can look at when we don't have episodes up.
And our Instagram account as well. We have been like trying our best to update on the top 3 drivers. If you saw the wrong top 3 for day 2, you did not see that.
No, you didn't.
That didn't
Technical
happen.
error. Technical
Yeah,
error.
exactly. It is fixed. So like we actually like today we did get our graphic up before F3 did. I just want to put that out there.
And that's why you should follow us.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. To be up to date with everything
Yeah.
Peter series, please follow us. And please
Yeah.
watch Juliet's vlog on our YouTube account. If you're already on YouTube, go find the YouTube video of that because I loved it. Like I wished I was there, but it did feel a little like being there, seeing that
That's
vlog.
great. That's exactly what I was aiming for.
So yeah, basically just stay with us and hopefully you'll enjoy more great content from us.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening and for tuning in, and catch us on the next one.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.